Hey YouTube, Carrots Wig here, bringing you all an update to my Zoodiac Yugioh deck profile for post the September 2025 ban list. We finally got Dryden off of the ban list to 1 and Barrage is at 3. So I figured I'd start off with the different decks we have for the ban list. With Zoodiac, there are a couple decks that actually got support off the list that are getting support in the next booster set, Doom of Dimensions. The Yummy deck needs to be updated with Obedience School, True Draco with their changes to some of their cards, and how many you can play in the deck, but we'll wait until we get the actual support from Doom of Dimensions for those decks. Really no point to update them when in 1 week we'll be getting more support as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the Zoodiac update. So for the main deck monsters, we are running 3 copies of Zoodiac Whiptail. During either player's turn, you can target 1 Beast Warrior Xyz monster you control. Attach this card from your hand or field to it as Xyz material. An Xyz monster whose original type is Beast Warrior has this card as Xyz material, gains the effect if it battles an opponent's monster. After damage calc, banish that monster. So Whiptail helps to give your different Zoodiac Xyz monsters additional card effects to then be able to get over some tougher monsters. Then having that additional quick play option with this card to attach onto that monster to then provide that additional card effect. We're also running 3 copies of Zoodiac Thoroughblade. If this card's normal or special summon, you can discard 1 Zoodiac card, and if you do, draw 1 card. An Xyz monster who has this card as material gains the effect of, if it attacks a defense monster, inflict piercing battle damage to that card. So being able to have that added play for piercing damage, but you also use Thoroughblade just to kind of, draw into the needed cards for the Zoodiac lineup, but definitely another 3 of, with the last of our 3 ofs for the Zoodiac cards being 3 copies of Zoodiac Ram. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target 1 Zoodiac monster in your graveyard except for Ram and special summon it as an Xyz monster whose original type is Beast Warrior. Having this card as Xyz material also gains the effect of, during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a trap card or effect that targets that card, you can detach an Xyz material from it to negate the activation. So just being able to stop traps as well to protect your Xyz monsters. But another thing with Ram is the destruction effect. It works well with Zoodiac Barrage, being able to then destroy your Ram and then give you the added effect of Zoodiac Barrage also. For the 1-ofs, we have 1 copy of Zoodiac Ratpier. Now, while we can't use the detach for the monster that is attached onto to summon another Ratpier from your hand or deck, because this card is still at 1 on the ban list. If it's normal summon, you can send 1 Zoodiac card from your deck to the graveyard, so giving you the added send and setup for your other Zoodiac cards in the graveyard. The 1 copy of Zoodiac Bunny Blast. If it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target a Zoodiac card in your graveyard except for Bunny Blast, add to your hand. So this could be some of the add back power as well that Ratpier can set up. And then having the additional Xyz effect during either player's turn. When your opponent activates a spell card that targets a card, you can detach 1 to negate the activation. So spell prevention with Bunny Blast, with the last one being Cataroost, with if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, being able to target a Zoodiac card in your graveyard except for Cataroost and shuffle it into the deck. And then while it's an Xyz material during your player's turn, your opponent activates a monster effect that targets this card, being able to detach an Xyz material from it to negate the activation. So all destruction power while being able to still rely on the protection for your Xyz monsters. Also, with the other main deck monsters, we're running 2 copies of Alpha, the Master of Beasts. It cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned from your hand, while the total attack of all monsters your opponent control is more than that of all the monsters you control, and you can target any number of Beast Warrior, or Wing Beast cards you control, return them to the hand, then return face-up monster your opponent controls to the hand equal to the number of cards returned to the hand also for the rest of this turn. Alpha, the Master of Beast you control, cannot attack directly, but it's a good way to just answer to your opponent's monsters while being able to make use of the different Beast Warrior cards that we run in the deck also. With the hand trap lineup, we have 5 hand traps here, being Ghost Ogre and Ash Blossom. The additional ones are Infinite Impermanence, which if you wanted to run additional hand traps as well, we have Solemn Strike in the trap lineup, which you can replace with cards like Mulcharmy Foolos if you wish for an additional hand trap spot to run 11 in total. For the spells, once again off the ban list is Zoodiac Barrage, a continuous spell. You can target 1 face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon 1 Zoodiac monster from your deck. You can only use this effect of Barrage once per turn. If this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 Zoodiac Xyz monster you control and attach this card from your graveyard to that Xyz monster as Xyz material. So once again, you can target Barrage with its own card effect to give you the special summon of a Zoodiac monster from your deck, making it just a great searcher for the Zoodiac cards as well for that monster setup. 3 copies of Tenki, since all of these Zoodiacs are Beast Warrior monsters. Tenki can just search out those cards additionally easily also. And 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet for more monster effect negation response to our opponent also, and not having the interaction if we use monsters also for it. And then the one-ofs include the 1 Pot of Avarice, the 1 Pot of Prosperity, the 1 Triple Tactics Talent, and the 1 Call by the Grave, with, you know, the Triple Tactics Talent and the Call by the Grave and Prosperity all avoiding the ban list with the latest release, retaining their one-of spots. Avarice is just good with all the monster usage we'll go through to be able to recycle extra deck and main deck cards back to then reuse them. And then for the traps, 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence for the added addition for a hand trap spot in the deck. The 3 copies of Solemn Strike, which once again, if you wanted to try a going second option, you can replace the strikes with Mulcharmy Fulos for another hand trap spot. And then the 1 copy of Goes in Match and the 1 Rivalry of Warlords to finish off more of a restriction for our opponent, but being able to maintain our Beast Warrior and Earth attribute with both of these continuous traps. For the extra deck, now at 1, Zoodiac Trident, with this card needing the 4 level 4 monsters. Once per turn, you can also Xyz summon Zoodiac Trident by using a Zoodiac monster you control with a different name as Xyz material. If you use an Xyz monster, any materials attached also become Xyz materials on this card. It gains attack and defense equal to the attack and defense of all Zoodiac monsters attached to it as materials. And then, once per turn during the player's turn, you can detach an Xyz material from this card, target a face-up card in the field, and destroy it. So, having that destruction power while also the attack gain, depending on the monsters that were attached onto it, depending on the monster that we overlay. All of these Zoodiac monsters have the question mark position, but you're going to use your main deck monsters for that added attack gain with the attachment of those Xyz materials also. The 2 copies of Zoodiac Shaka 9 needing the 2 or more level 4 monsters. Once per turn, you can also Xyz summon Shaka 9 by using a Zoodiac monster you control with a different name as material, transferring the Xyz material to it as well. And once per turn, you can detach an Xyz material from this card, target a Zoodiac monster in your graveyard, and special summon it, but for the rest of this turn, its effects are negated and can't be used as material for Xyz summon. But once again, just another resource to grab off of Shaka 9, and then the additional attachment by going into an Xyz play and doing an Xyz play to then just have more of an Xyz attachment to our other monsters. The 2 copies of Boar Bow, needing the 5 level 4 monsters to make this one once per turn. You can also Xyz summon Barbo using 1 Zoodiac monster you control with a different name as Xyz material. So the other monsters have the additional 1 of Zoodiac with control with the additional attach for those monsters. Otherwise, you'll use the specific materials needed, but cards like Shaka 9 just need the 2 of for the 1 of the different Zoodiac monsters. So remember, you just need the 1 of material for these cards to attach onto initially, and not even the 2 of for normal Xyz plays. And then the 1 Tiger Mortar and the 1 Hammercon to finish off the extra deck Zoodiac monsters also, with the rest of the Xyz monsters being 1 Eclipse Twins, the 1 Exciton Knight, the 1 Tornado Dragon, the 1 Castel, and the 1 Daigusta Morale for the rest of the Xyz monsters, with our Link monsters being 1 Tri-Brigade Farragut, the 1 IP Masquerena, and then the 1 SP Little Knight for the Link monsters we can run if we're locked out of our Xyz plays. And then as for some of the go-to plays in the deck, as mentioned before with added setup, it all depends on the Zoodiac monster you open up, because then it'll give you that additional monster effect also to then be able to utilize. But even just 1 Zoodiac monster, which can also be searched out with our 1 of copy count that we have. So with 3 Zoodiac Barrage, just opening up 1 Barrage, you can activate Barrage and then target a face-up card you control, so you can target Barrage as well. That will give you access to any of your Zoodiac monsters as well for the summon onto the field, and then having the additional effect to discard a Zoodiac card if you have it to draw into additional cards. But then the main play obviously will fall onto the fact that you can use your Zoodiac monsters for the once per turns for the Xyz plays to then overlay into that needed monster, being able to Xyz summon summons Borbo once per turn by using a Zoodiac monster you control. So then you have the additional summon for each one of these monsters as well. You can use Shaka 9, which the additional detach option could grab you the Zoodiac you discarded off of the Thoroughblade to use back on the field as well, and then continue into the Xyz Climb also, which you'll just have to remember is the Zoodiac monster will have the attack points of the combined one, so the more actual monsters you have on it, the stronger it will make your monster as well, meaning cards like Whiptail come in handy for this play, just being able to then use that monster for that setup also. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. We had a pretty big ban list this time around, so lots of decks that need updating. But as I said, we are getting new support for some of those decks on the list in the latest Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster set. So we'll see some updates when that set comes around to release. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Twig out.